Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Larison from the Multiplicity Lab Group at Northwestern University. Today, we're going to explore one type of Look, Think, Talk activity where the question you ask of students is, how could you organize? As a quick reminder, in Look, Think, Talk activities, you first show students an intriguing mathematical image and give them time to look. This can be done on a shared screen, or you can print copies for students. Then you pose a central mathematical question and give students time to think. If students have printed copies, you can invite them to annotate as they think. Students can also use manipulatives as an entry point into the task. Finally, ask students to talk about the question with one another and as a whole group. The goal of these discussions is to elicit and encourage multiple ideas, strategies, ways of seeing and thinking, and connections while making room for multiple voices. The question, how could you organize, is the heart of data science. A data set is really just a collection of data points. They could be people, countries, objects, animals, or days, each with a set of attributes. By organizing data along different attributes, we can compare groups, notice patterns, pose questions, and maybe even make predictions. Let's look at a few examples and consider where they could take you. In this image, the objects aren't organized in any way yet. Some of the buttons are partially hidden, with others jumbled on top. When you ask, how could you organize these buttons, the first thing students will need to do is focus on what makes the buttons similar and different from one another. In other words, what are their attributes? Buttons come in different colors and sizes. They have different numbers of holes. Some have writing or decoration on the surface, or a ridge around the edge, while others are blank. Some are translucent, while many are opaque. Asking, how could you organize, raises questions about attributes and sorting. Considering multiple possibilities helps students to see that the same set of objects could be sorted in different ways, allowing them to learn different things about the collection. This is true no matter if the data are buttons, people, countries, or the weather outside. Let's look at another example. In contrast to the buttons, these donuts are ordered in a grid, making it easier to see each one. Noticing all their attributes, how could you organize these donuts? Students might think about creating groups by icing color, type of toppings or topping color, stripes, sprinkles, or whether or not there's chocolate. If you provide your students with a printed copy of the activity, they can cut apart the image to try organizing. They might invent data displays like this one, organized by icing color. Grouping by attributes is just the beginning. How we organize the donuts can help us answer questions like, what is the most common donut color? What are the most common toppings? Or do donuts have stripes? Do more donuts have stripes or no stripes? When students share the representations, invite the class to notice patterns, trends, contrasts, and similarities. You can invite students to pose more questions about the data too. You might stir up an interesting conversation by asking the biggest data question of all. What does a typical donut look like? We have dozens of how could you organize activities at Multiplicity Lab. To find these, begin looking at the Look, Think, Talk tab. You can use our filter to select the question, how could you organize? And if you'd like to narrow your search, you can select a grade level or material, like real-world images or everyday objects, to match your goals. Try an organizing activity with your students tomorrow.